Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 18th through December 22nd, where we'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen. We'll talk about how to manage your shopping list. We'll also talk about some additional opportunities to make money trading using various option strategies and also dividend payers. So got a lot to cover, so we'll get started. Here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for December 18th through December 22nd. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. If you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Make Money Trading in the Winter, we would highly recommend you also view part 1, as that contains our market analysis, our strategies, trade ideas for making money trading this week, as well as going through the winter. We keep all of our notes documents for our weekly trading game plans in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1 for this week, as well as previous weeks, and you can find a direct link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below. And our notes documents contain links to bonus videos, to the tools and resources we use to both do our market analysis and also select our top swing trading stocks to watch. Welcome EKS, Brian Moritz, Ricky Khan, Carmen. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you all are doing well. So firstly, we'll review a couple of our trades from last week, and then we'll look at the charts for those trades in Webull. Firstly, we went long on land. Land is a REIT on farmland. We've traded profitably in the past. We went long again on land on the 13th at 1371 for a long-term swing scalp investment. It is a small dividend payer. I believe they went ex-dividend on the 15th, so we got in just before their ex-dividend date, and you'll see it popped up slightly later this week with the Fed interest rate decision and the decrease in the bond rates. Welcome also MD, Easy Mike. Thank you for joining us. So our other trade this week was we went long on TECS. TECS is a leveraged ETF, which is short on the broader technology sector. Been talking about watching that for some time. You can also hear our thesis, our use of TECS, and how we use TECL to determine our entry point via the link to this video. ETFs used to trade technology talks about TECL and TECS and our trading strategy for that. We went long on the 11th. You'll see when we got the positive CPI, PPI data, and then the exuberant run on the Fed interest rate decision. There's an exuberant run in technology. We saw this yesterday when we looked at the technology components. So TECL has gone up. Part of the reason I got in at this point is it was right before the after hours Oracle earnings report, which I kind of suspected was going to be weak, show weak cloud growth for Oracle, and that might have contributed to a negative sentiment to the other cloud providers. But again, then we got that exuberant run after the inflation data, CPI, PPI, and the Fed interest rate decision. So we'll jump over to Webull and look at those trades real quickly, but just a quick reminder, if you would like to get real-time trade alerts when we enter or exit a trade, you can get email notifications of those trade alerts by joining any level of our Patreon. Again, as quickly as possible after we enter or exit a trade, I post that to our Patreon members. They get email notifications. We also have a couple channels in our Discord with a variety of alerts. I'll show you those just very quickly. So the first one is a Thinkorswim price alerts. I have price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, it automatically posts to this Thinkorswim alerts channel. And then if we follow that up with an actual trade, then I would reply to that Thinkorswim alert in that channel. So you could see when we went long TECS, it was following an alert that I got from Thinkorswim. If it's a trade that wasn't directly related to an alert, like when we went long land, then I'll post that directly in the trade alerts channel. And we'll come back. Hopefully we'll have time to talk more about our real-time alerts channel a little bit later. But again, any level of our Patreon will also give you access to both the trade alerts and the Thinkorswim alerts channels in our Discord. And you can find a link to our Patreon in the description box below, as well as other locations. So we'll look at these charts in Webull. Again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull. You see here's our trade on land. So we got in on the 13th. You see that dip below support on the 13th, and then it had a nice run up. Broke up above that resistance a little bit. You can see right now I've got a manual stop loss sitting at about 1420. We'll see if land will continue to break out through that resistance level or if it's going to roll over and retrace some. If so, we'll take our profit and we'll try to get back in at a lower point. Welcome to Crow. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again today. Talked about TECS as well. Again, this is the leverage short on the broad technology sector. You can see I got in on the 11th in that kind of flat area. TECL had made a new high at that point. So again, we use TECL to determine our entry points into TECS. So we see TECL kind of made a new high at that point. So we entered TECS again before the Oracle earnings, and then we got the CPI, PPI, and Fed interest rate decision, and there was a further exuberant run into technology. So we'll see if we get a sector rotation out of technology into small caps or some other sectors. If so, I would exit that TECS position pretty quickly. And again, I mentioned yesterday, we probably won't short technology into the end of the year. We'll probably wait till the window dressing that the money managers tend to do at the end of the year, and they'll probably pour into technology. So we'll probably not re-enter that, but if we can take our profit, we will. Again, we use TECL as the entry point. You can see, TECL had that, major exuberant runs, broke out to a new high. So again, if you want to take a very short-term scalp trade on shorting technology, that is one way to do it. We'll look at a couple others in a few minutes. Okay, now we'll look at our top swing trading stocks to watch list. For this week, I'll quickly review some of our changes, and then we'll again look at the charts for those stocks in Webull. So firstly, as we mentioned, we went long land already. I think some of our other fellow BeachBum traders are also in land. Again, this is a REIT we like on farmland, traded profitably numerous times. So if you're not already long on land, I would wait for a pullback. It had a pretty good run end of this week. One I want to look at in some detail is MSB. This is Masabi Trust. This is a small steel company. So I want to bring that up in FinViz and just very quickly look at MSB in a minute, but I guess we'll go through our changes first and I'll come back to MSB. I'm going to take Realty Income off of our watch list. It didn't pull back. It's continuing to run as a number of the other REITs are running positively. So I think it's up in the 57s or so now. I'd like it down below 50. Again, we can continue to watch these REITs, and O is one we trade frequently when it dips. and we can watch that in our dividend payers Google Sheet at any time. Another technology short that we talked about yesterday, looked in the charts in the technology component screener, is ARK-K, shorting ARK-K with SARK. So again, we would use ARK-K, a top or resistance in ARK-K to determine our entry into SARK. I think, that's one I'd be willing to short even into the end of this year, as most of those ARK-K companies are, highly unprofitable, very high PE. So I think if we get a little bit of a rotation flight to safety, we could short ARK-K with SARK. Another one we talked about yesterday is SOXL, made an exuberant, run as well. So if you wanted to short semiconductors, short that exuberant rally, we would use SOXS. Again, I'm a little hesitant to step in front of that, particularly NVIDIA, into the end of the year. I think money managers will want that on their books at the end of the year. Talked about TECS, so we're already long TECS. Again, if you want to get in, you can still get in at a lower price than us at this point, at a new high in TECL. And we are already long USOI, which is a monthly dividend payer on oil. When oil previously dipped below 70, we went long a good chunk of USOI. You can see it goes ex-dividend on the 19th, paying about a 77-cent dividend. So we're going to hold that at least through the ex-dividend date, collect our dividend, and you'll see I kind of missed an opportunity to double down on USOI when oil dipped down into the low 6 or mid 60s. If we do get a pullback, again, oil under 70, I may double down on USOI. So just another quick reminder while I'm here is, if you would like to get more frequent updates to our watch list, including access to a daily automatically generated web page, which includes price targets, ex-dividend dates, earning reports dates, dividend information, optionality information, you can get that by joining any level of our Patreon. Also, just a note, coming soon, I'm working on a daily automatically updated Google Sheet to replace the web page with all of this information, as well as some real-time price information for all of our top swing trading stocks to watch, our watch list stocks, our bullpen stocks, our shopping list stocks, and using near real-time price updates from Google Functions. So you can watch for that coming soon. Also, if I do make a change to our watch list after that web page has been automatically generated, then I would post that in the Stocks Watchlist channel in our Discord. And again, by joining any level of our Patreon, you get access to that automatically generated web page, as well as the Stocks Watchlist channel in our Discord. So I'll quickly run through those charts in Webull, and then I want to come back and look at MSB in more detail. Let me grab a quick drink, check the chat a second. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, you can still get up to 70 free fractional shares of stocks by opening and funding an account with at least 25K. Anything under 25K, you can get up to 20 fractional shares of stocks by opening and funding an account under 25K. And you can see each of those fractional shares is worth from $3,000 to $3,000. They're also still offering their 5% interest on uninvested cash in your cash account, which is currently above the bond rate. So again, you can get a nice interest rate on your uninvested cash in a Webull cash account. So you can see we use Webull for our market analysis, our due diligence, the majority of our trading. So if you're not already using Webull, we would highly recommend it. And if you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, we would appreciate it. And you'll also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. I'm using the online browser version of Webull. I have to log back in probably. Sorry for the delay. Also, they recently changed. Now the web trading link is a direct link at the top of the online browser version. Another nice feature of Webull is you can have, a whole bunch of different watch lists, etc. So I can easily flip between my watch list, get to my top swing trading stocks to watch list. So I want to look at MSB. Again, this is that steel company. And again, I'll bring up the FinViz chart. We'll talk about MSB a little bit more in more detail in a minute. This popped up on one of my queries the other day when they had a sector rotation out of steel. So you see it drop down to that support level in the low 17s. And then Thursday, Friday, we had a rotation back into steel and it had a pretty significant run up. So hopefully some of our BeachBum traders were able to catch that run up in MSB. I was thinking about taking it off, but I wanted to do this review of MSB in our weekly trading game plan. So if it continues to run up, we'll take it back off or we'll put it in our bullpen. As I'll show in a minute, they're a small, profitable steel company. You can see it's kind of low float, a little choppy. So we talked about SARK, and again, I would use ARK-K as the determinant for an entry point in SARK. You see ARK-K recently made a new 52-week high. So again, I would be waiting for another peak or resistance point somewhere near that high as an entry point in SARK. Again, all the technology sectors are kind of running exuberantly. So you can see, again, if ARK-K makes a new high or gets rejected from resistance, that would be the time to enter SARK. Similarly for SOXS, we would use SOXL as the entry point. So if SOXL makes a new high, gets rejected, goes to a new resistance level. So we can see that exuberant run. So if it starts to fail, particularly if you're a short-term trader, day trader, etc., that's a pretty exuberant run. Probably some good opportunities to short semiconductors. Again, just be careful with the exuberance in NVIDIA, AMD, etc. Towards the end of the year. And again, we talked about USOI with oil. So if I back off a little bit, again, we got in earlier on this dip. I kind of missed the double down opportunity on that. And then we saw that rebound in oil. It's now in the low 70s. So again, I missed that double down opportunity. If we get another pullback like that, again, I would be looking to double down on USOI. Again, it goes ex-dividend on the 19th. So if you want to get this month's dividend, you'll need to get in before the 19th. But you can see it's got plenty of room to run back up. Oil, at least to 80, if not higher. So okay, I want to look at MSB and FinViz quickly. So talk about MSB. So just a quick reminder, you can find links to FinViz, etc. on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com. So if I want to get access to a tool, etc., I just go to our homepage, find the link to the various trading tools we use. Quick and easy way to access those. So I'm on FinViz. I look at MSB, Masabi Trust. So you can see it, was very near that support level. It, bottomed out near that 52-week low, popped up on my screeners. The reason I like it is it's profitable. It is optionable. They have in the past paid a dividend, but you'll see I believe they might have discontinued their dividend. See, it's a pretty low float, but there aren't a lot of additional outstanding shares. Not a lot of debt, so I like that. And if we zoom out to the weekly a little bit, you see it's got plenty of, upside potential into the, high 20s. So it's, near potential double and potentially higher longer term. So you can see this, 18 level seems to be pretty good support. Not a whole lot of risk, some downside risk. Look at their profitability. So their revenue has been choppy, kind of decreased and then bounced back up. Their EPS is positive, so they are making money, so they are profitable. Again, they don't have a lot of debt. So again, we look at their quarterly, so their EPS again has been a little choppy. I think their last earning report was perceived negatively and therefore the potential drop. So again, that's why I wanted to put MSB on our watch list as a potential play for that sector rotation in and out of steel. And again, then Thursday, Friday, we saw that run up rotation back into steel, had been beaten down quite a bit earlier in the week. And so we'll see if we get another rotation like that to give us an opportunity in MSB. And you see it's a US-based steel company. Again, small, and there is some consolidation, some possible acquisition with U.S. Steel, X, and Nucor. There's been some talk, so maybe some of these small steel companies, there might be a opportunity for an acquisition target as well. But we're playing it that they're profitable. So, okay, let me grab a drink and we'll go through our bullpen stocks. Welcome, Sydney Osborne. If I missed you earlier, thank you for joining us and thank you for all your support. So here's our list of bullpen stocks. Again, if you're kind of new to our community, the concept of bullpen stocks are not ones that we're watching real time. They're ones I've identified that potentially may have an attractive setup in the near future. So we do just revisit them at the end of each day. If their setup has improved, then we put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. If they break down or run away, then we just take them out of the bullpen and we can always revisit them in the future. One we've had in our bullpen for a little while is the CPSH, an electronic components company, small cap electronics components. So we'll see it's been kind of basing for some period of time. You can kind of hear more about our due diligence, quick take due diligence on CPS Technologies via the bonus link in our notes. Another one I want to take a closer look at in a few minutes is EBIX, this EBIX. It's another one that popped up in my end of day queries. This is a technology software company, again, profitable, which most of the technology software companies are losing a lot of money. So I found this one interesting. And again, we'll come back to EBIX and we'll look at both their FinBiz and chart mill profile and why I think this might be an attractive software company going forward. Just a note, it shows in FinBiz that they have a dividend, but it does look like they suspended this dividend in 2022. Talked about opportunities to short gold when it had hit its previous all-time high. Since then, it's declined back to just above 2,000. So I thought about taking this off. This is a leverage short on gold, GDXD. The leverage long that we use on gold is GDXU. So again, I would use a peak in GDXU. Or a rejection from resistance to determine an entry in GDXD. So if we do see gold go up to a new all-time high again, we could use GDXD to short it. It got rejected pretty dramatically last time it hit an all-time high again. Another new one that I want to do some quick take due diligence on is OGN, or Organon and Company. This is a drug manufacturer. Again, typically I don't like the drug companies in general, but again, these look like it's a pretty profitable drug manufacturer. It's got a pretty large market cap, large amount of sales. So again, we'll look at the OGN as well. Looks like potential opportunity to play healthcare drug manufacturers. I'm going to take MP Materials out of the bullpen again. It's run away. I haven't had much luck in catching MP. It tends to bounce pretty quickly when it dips. So I'm not going to chase MP. The next time we see it low, and it's something I've kind of gotten on my shopping list, so I can kind of watch it. And we'll keep an eye on MP Materials. You can hear again our reason we like MP Materials, would like to get an opportunity to get in, but I want to get in at a cheap price because I'm a cheapskate. So firstly, we'll go and we'll just quickly look through those charts on Webull, and then I'll come back and we'll look at some of those individual stocks that we added to our bullpen and do a little bit of a quick quick take due diligence on some of those. So again, we've been watching CPSH for a little while, and it's just kind of hovering around that pivot point. It's a pretty low float, illiquid. Again, as I commented last week, I'm not real eager to get into that before the end of the year because it may be vulnerable to some tax loss selling because it's down significantly for the year. So we'll kind of keep in the bullpen, keep an eye on it, and maybe jump on that when we get the laggards to leaders trend in January. EBIX, again, this is that software company. Kind of see it's been in steep decline, had a dip on their previous earnings. They kind of missed earnings, so that was a negative reaction to that. It did pop back up recently. You can see it looks like it's kind of rolling back over, so we'll kind of see if it rolls over and reaches one of these support levels. If so, then again we can move it up to our main watch list. You can see the bottom is 310, 311, etc., and it did pop up into the sevens after that. So again, gold, we talked about recent high in GDXU, 37.15, push back up, retrace some on that decline in gold back to 2,000. So if we do see, again, another exuberant run in gold to a new all-time high. Now, GDXU does lag the gold price, but again, I would use a new all-time high in the spot gold price, then a peak in GDXU to look for an opportunity to short gold with GDXD. You can see it bottomed and bounced up. You see that previous run when gold had declined previously. Here's OGN, again, that drug manufacturer. So you can see it was basing for quite some period of time. It's got a bottom in the low 10s. Looks like it started a run up. So again, it's recently run back up. It's got a nice, stable base in the high 10s, low 11s, and it's got plenty of upside into the 30s. This does pay a dividend. It's a quarterly dividend, about 28 cents. So again, I want to look a little bit deeper into EBIX and OGN for you. So again, first in FinViz, here's EBIX. So you can see again, they kind of missed. They actually had a negative EPS in their last reporting, kind of missed on their earnings. So it bottomed on their previous earnings, since recovered a little bit. It's got, pretty nice upside potential. And again, the attractive thing is, it has been profitable. So I think, a profitable software company. It is optionable. Sentiment's pretty negative. Doesn't, it's got a significant amount of debt. It's, relatively low float. Again, plenty of range, plenty of upside opportunity. And this is again why I went to Chartmill as well to look at their health. So when you look at their EBITDA for the past couple of years, has been positive. So they have been profitable. Past couple quarters, though, the last quarter was bad. So again, that negative reaction bottom. Now again, this may be vulnerable to tax loss selling because it's down so much for the year. So again, I wouldn't be too eager to jump into this until the end of the year. And again, we'll talk about this concept relative to our shopping list as well. As you can see, possibly in January when they rotate back into the laggards, this might be an opportunity and again, a potential turnaround play. So I want to quickly also look at their profile in Chartmill, and you can quickly access that, the link in the notes as well. So again, you can see the setup's not very good right now. What I wanted to see is their overall health. You can see their health and growth is kind of poor. Valuations decent, though 3 out of 5. Profitability 3 out of 5. So again, they're profitable. We go to their fundamentals. This again is what I wanted to look at. There are concerns of the financial health, although they're profitable. So again, if they turn their cash flow around, I don't think their financial health should be an issue. Valuations decent, profitability is pretty good. It's their growth and health that are somewhat negative. So again, you can look in more detail, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't some serious concerns about their, financial stability if we were going to consider going long on EBIX. And again, hopefully they'll turn around in the future. So again, potential opportunity, small cap, and we'll keep an eye on EBIX going forward. We've got it in our bullpen. We'll see how it behaves the rest of the year. The other one I wanted to look at is OGN. So again, a drug manufacturer, you can see it, bottomed recently, kind of had negative surprise to earnings, although it was still positive. They, missed on earnings, so had a negative reaction, pretty much bottomed out, and then popped up just recently again with exuberant reactions in the overall market. But you can see it's a pretty large market cap company, makes a lot of money. Doesn't have a lot of debt. They're optionable. Pays, has paid a, 8.5% dividend, and it's got decent range for an upside. So again, if we zoom out a little bit, we can see plenty of upside, and it really popped up just this week. And again, it's really at a bottom, but they are profitable. So we can see their revenue, make a lot of money. They have been profitable. It's just the earnings misses. You can see they generally get a negative reaction to their earnings. So it looks like they have a tendency to miss on their earnings, and then it declined. So minus 10% of the last earnings. So again, another one we'll keep on our bullpen. Again, potentially at risk of tax loss selling. It's down a lot for the year, so not overly eager to jump in right now, but something to think about once we get into January, particularly if it does stay low or pushes again back down to that low. We can also look at it in chart mill. So we look at their overall health in chart mill as well. So you see the setup right now isn't very good, but valuation's very good. Health is a little weak, growth weak, profitability is good, dividend. Look at the fundamentals. So it's 5 out of 10. Some minor concerns of financial health, but valuation's pretty good, profitability's good, health isn't terrible. So again, OGN's another one that we'll keep an eye on as a potential profit maker going into next year. One more I want to look at is PED. This is I put it in the honorable mention category since I didn't really particularly like the technical setup, but as we'll see, PED is a small oil and gas company. They've got property in the Permian. I believe Easy Mike and some others have talked about potential further consolidation of oil companies, particularly in the Permian. We see a number of acquisitions, Crown Castle getting acquired, etc. So this may be of some interest to some of you. I'm probably not terribly interested in individual oil and gas companies. You see, there is some discrepancy between their outstanding shares and float, so they may have an offering on the shelf, so be aware of that. This is not optionable. Sentiment's pretty positive. They don't have a lot of debt. It does look like they're making money. You can see it's pretty relatively low. Again, it's very cheap, small cap stock, under $1. So you see it has had pops in the past. I'm sure that's when the oil prices spiked up in the past. So a lot of potential upside. Again, if you want to play a very small oil company, and we'll look at their description in a second. So you can see they're engaged in acquisition and development of oil and natural gas, focusing on the Permian Basin in Denver. So again, if you're looking for potential opportunity, small cap to play oil, and potential acquisition target for further consolidation in the oil industry, I thought I would throw that out as an honorable mention if anyone's interested. Okay, let me grab a drink and we'll talk about our shopping list stocks and then additional stocks to look at. Again, if you're relatively new to our community, the concept of the shopping list stocks are, we always highly recommend that you have your list of stocks that you wanted to buy, own, etc. Ready on a pullback in the market. I don't know if we'll get a pullback. We might get a very short sector rotation, like talked about with steel, healthcare, etc. So have your shopping list ready in case we see a dip or a sector rotation that's attractive for one of those stocks on your shopping list. just some of the caveats. Again, none of this is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content's for education and entertainment purposes only. But caveats we throw out is beware of zombie stocks, stocks with high debt, those that survive, the high interest rate period when the Fed starts to cut, then very soon we'll take our zombie stocks. Most of those will probably die off before the Fed cuts come. Also, again, I mentioned several that may be vulnerable to tax loss harvesting through the end of the year. Again, I think this is the last week of major tax loss harvesting. But again, stocks that are down big for the year may be vulnerable to selling pressure due to tax loss harvesting. If you're not familiar with what that means and how that works, you can listen to our videos on tax loss harvesting and also what the wash sale rule is and how that works. So again, some of these we're going to wait, till we exit the tax loss harvesting period. And then like we talked about with OGN, with EBIX, etc., they may be more attractive in January. Also, something I threw out in our Discord when we had this exuberant run in the markets is to watch out some of these big money losers that had an overly or irrational exuberant pop. You've heard people talk about the dash for trash that occurred this week, and I think that's definitely the case. They were just pretty much buying everything, and some of the big losers they were buying up, and I would be careful with those. If they're big money losers and they need cash, if they pop up and have an overly irrational pop, that would be their opportunity to drop an offering on you. And they may have it on the shelf already and just waiting for that pop, and they'll drop an offering, and then you may get stuck holding the bag on those. I mean, in my humble opinion, if I were the CEO of one of those big money losers and I got a pop in my stock, I'd be eager to drop an offering, build up some cash, ensure the survival of the company at the expense of the shareholders. So again, be careful of some of those big money losers. Welcome, Walter Lyons. Glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. So now we'll quickly go through some dividend payers, additional opportunities to generate income while you're waiting for your top swing trading stock setups to manifest themselves. So if anybody has a particular dividend payer you'd like to take a look at, I did have some mentions of some that people had mentioned previously to take a look at. Also, just a quick reminder, you can get access, 24/7 access to this dividend payers Google Sheet. You can use this to help create your own schedule of dividend payers with whatever dividend payment, income, risk reward profile, dividend payment schedule that you would like using our dividend payers Google Sheet by joining our Patreon at the all access or VIP level. Couple additions that I wanted to review and look at in a little bit more detail is Snowflake had mentioned AAT in the live chat of last week's part 2 weekly trading game plan. So I want to look at AAT a second in a little bit of detail. This is a REIT, diversified REIT. And then we'll also look at the dividend information in our dividend payers Google Sheet. Actually, I can do that if I show it in the add tab of our dividend payers Google Sheet. Again, if you do a find on that, and then in the notes column, there's a direct link to their FinBiz profile. So again, a quick and easy way to get to the FinBiz profile for any of the dividend payers. Just jump over to the link in the notes. So you can see this is run up with, most of the REITs recently. So again, not something I'd probably pursue at this time, but you can see it pays about a 33-cent quarterly dividend. See, it's looks like they're profitable. Pays about a 6% nominal dividend. See, again, it's a diversified REIT. We'll look at their profile a second. So acquires and develops, okay, retail shopping. It does have some office, mixed use, multifamily properties, etc. So I was a little bit concerned, with some of the commercial property, particularly the office. Again, they do have multifamily. This is, kind of similar to income, realty income. And that may have been the reason it's mentioned. They had they do make money. Looks like it's, got some, decent amount of upside. So up into the 40s, up as high as 50. So again, some, long-term potential upside. If you want to see their composition of some of their properties, you can access the link to their homepage also in the notes. So you can see a breakdown of their portfolio. So again, if you go to their portfolio, you can see their distribution of properties, etc. The map, retail, office, etc. Their full portfolio. So again, another potential REIT, kind of again like realty income. So if we look at their dividend information, their risk reward profile, again, it's got a 52-week. It's not quite 2-to-1. Short term, short support to resistance. Again, it's run up a little bit. So again, it pays a 33-cent quarterly dividend. So yields about 7 cents. So again, a potential alternative to again, I'm a little concerned with the office component of it. Some of the commercial real estate, you may want to do further due diligence to see what risk there is in their properties. So I hope that helps. And EKS is posting some data on AAT. Up 16 cents. So thank you for sharing that, EKS. So I hope that helps. Again, we're not adding it to our main dividend payers as the risk reward's not overly attractive. I would still tend to look at realty income. Another one we added, and we've talked about a couple times, and we've talked about yesterday, is this WPS. EKS has mentioned this. This is this International Developed Property ETF. So I also promised to put that the dividend information in our sheet. So right under AAT, you can see the dividend information for WPS. Again, it pays a 25-cent quarterly dividend. You can kind of see the risk reward profile. Again, not a whole lot of price appreciation in a near term. Less than 2 long term. And again, we've looked at the charts for WPS. We've talked about WPS in a little more detail the past couple weeks, but I wanted to also provide that dividend information for your benefit. So again, you can find the dividend information in the ad sheet of our dividend payers as well. So I hope that all helps. So right now, those are the additions to our dividend payers. Again, if you would like us to take a look at one, you can put it in the comments to this video. Also, you can find a series of videos on how you can use our dividend payers Google Sheet to generate your own schedule of dividend payers that meet your risk reward profile, your income schedule via the series, via the link in the notes, as well as on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. I'll quickly whip through them and check the chat to see if there's anything specific that anybody wants to look at in terms of dividend payers. So yeah, EKS also posted in our Discord about WPC. It's another dividend payer, and he posted some information on WPC. We can take a look at that one in the future as well. I don't think, I'll check if we have WPC in here anywhere. Let's see, WPC. So I already have WPC. It's also in the ad sheet. So again, you can see you can do a find on dividend payers in either the main sheet or the ad sheet. So here you can find WPC, WP Carry Inc. And you can see we've looked at this before, the risk reward profile. It pays, looks like a $1.14 quarterly. So it's about a 7% yield. It's got a little bit of a price appreciation. See the risk reward. So it's obviously run up a little bit with some of the other REITs. So again, here's that WPC, WP Carry Inc., diversified REIT. So again, commercial real estate investment segments, commercial. Looks like they're making money. Pretty good size market cap, pretty good size income, 7% dividend. It is optionable. Had, pretty high debt, which is pretty typical again of a lot of the REITs. Looks like it dipped on an earnings miss. So positive earnings, but a miss. So it dipped on the miss, and then it's bounced up with the other REITs. It looks like it just is testing that support level. So we'll see if it breaks out from that support or gets rejected. So halfway decent upside into the high 80s, potential 90. And again, you can see it's popped up with all the other REITs right now. So if that's something relatively stable, 7% dividend, it's better than 5%. So you see the risk reward profile also in our dividend sheet. So I hope that helps. So I don't have a whole lot of others to look at in the dividends. I didn't find a whole lot of others that were all that attractive. JEPI, JPQ have all run up. Everything's run up recently. See the info on land. It did go ex-dividend on the 15th. You see Realty Income O goes ex-dividend on the 29th, but again, it's run up. So again, if there's anything specifically that somebody in the chat wants to look at, I can come back to the dividend payers. Here's USOI. Again, it goes to ex-dividend on the 19th. You can see it pays 77 cents monthly. It's got, decent price appreciation. Again, there's a monthly dividend payer on oil. So our other income strategy for generating additional income while we wait for our top swing trading stocks to setups to improve is with options. We sell covered calls, buy back. We sell them when the stock's going up, buy them when they're coming back down, sell cash secured puts when stocks are going down, buy them back when it's going back up. You can also see our criteria for selling cash secured puts in the notes. And then we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to help us identify potential opportunities to sell or buy back those puts. Again, with the low volatility recently, the options premiums hasn't been all that attractive, so I'm not really focusing on those option strategies right now. But you can hear further about how you can use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to, again, identify puts to sell, when to buy them back, how to make money doing that via our series of videos. I may add one quick addition to our research tab. We've looked at this before. This is a solar/semiconductor company, SEDG. So I put that back in the research tab at the 60 strike. That had popped up. I use the options seller ROI tool end of each day to see if there's any additions that we want to plug into our Google Sheet, as well as our automated systems to potentially identify opportunities to sell puts and then buy them back. And so I will collect the data on Monday for SEDG at the 60 strike. Again, there aren't a whole lot of opportunities with a positive, ROIC over 5% right now. But again, you can use these sheets as well to identify intraday opportunities to also, sell and buy back options. So again, you can get access to this Google Sheet as well by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. So if there's any options that anybody wants us to plug into our systems to add to our Google Sheet, just let me know the symbol, strike price, expiration you want us to look at, and I can plug that in and collect the data and add it to our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Okay, let me grab a drink and I will quickly spin through some additional announcements and then answer some questions that have come up if we have time. Look at some stocks if you have individual stocks, additional ones you want to look at. So just a quick note for our Patreon members is we've added an early access channel to our Discord, and you will get notified also in that early access Discord channel when we post new videos to our Patreon. So just another way you can get early access to our videos. And again, any level of our Patreon gives you access to that new early access channel. Just a couple updates to our real-time alerts. So last week we announced another alerts channel, which is available to our VIP and all access members. So hopefully some of you have benefited from this new alerts channel. This is real-time alerts that are generated by my automated systems, identify stocks that are moving up, breaking out, near buy level, etc. It's also a good way to identify sector rotations and trends in the market. We'll go into more detail on how those alerts work, the definitions, etc. But again, hopefully our BeachBum traders, particularly short-term day traders, are finding that information beneficial. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Just some quick additions. We added the company name if it's available after the symbol. If I can get the company name out of our database, it'll add after the symbol. Also, there's a link directly to the FinViz profile, so you can also see the company name, and again a direct link to the FinViz profile at the bottom of each alert, so you can just very quickly see the FinViz chart for any of those stocks in the alerts channel. So I hope that helps, and again, I'd love to hear your feedback. Also, part of the addition of the early access channel and some of these others is we're looking at also offering subscriptions directly in Discord with the same benefits as Patreon, again, directly via Discord, so you don't have to necessarily go through Patreon to get the same set of benefits. And again, that's something that's coming soon. Okay. So let me check the chat for additional questions, and I'll try to answer a couple of these as well, or defer them for future discussion. Okay, EKS asked in the live chat of part 1, how many positions do you have going at any one time, and what percentage of the portfolio does the position represent? And I'm going to, if it's okay, I'm going to defer that to a future discussion. I think that's a larger topic to talk about. In fact, I have a trade or a video idea. I think I tentatively titled it Size Matters. I talk about sizing of positions, etc. So again, I'd like to have that discussion in more detail in the future, if that's okay with you, EKS. Also, Carmen asked in part 1 about REITs in the clean energy space. Have you looked deeply at this in the past? And Carmen, I don't know of any REITs offhand in the clean energy space. If you have some specific REITs that you think are fit in the clean energy space that you'd like us to discuss, take a look at, please post those in the Discord or in the comments under the video. And again, we can look at REITs in the clean energy space in more detail in the future. EKS posted information about this WPC in our Discord, so we had just looked at WPC as well. So again, I hope that helps. And again, you can find additional information that EKS had posted about WPC in our Discord, and I put the direct link in the notes. So I hope that all helps. I see Easy Mike's talking about TAN. We looked at TAN in our ETF Google Sheet yesterday. TAN and RAISE are the solar ETFs. So again, you can see their current risk-reward profile, etc., in our ETF Google Sheet and track them there. We talked about, I don't know of an ETF to short solar. So if anyone knows of one to short solar, so we can play that sector rotation both ways, that would be great. So, okay, I'm going to wrap up for today. We've covered a lot of ground. If I missed your question or a stock you want us to take a look at, again, please feel free to post that in the comments to this video. You can also always ask us in our Discord, with the exception of the few channels that I mentioned. All the rest of the channels in our Discord are free to join. You can find a free invite to our Discord in the description box below. So again, we encourage you all to join our Discord. We can continue these conversations, and you can ask us questions, etc. In our Discord, we're BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no pounds, numbers, additional characters. Anyone else is an imposter. You can also find our contact information for our social media profiles in the links section on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So you can find a free invite to our Discord as well as links to our social media profiles. So plenty of ways you can contact us, follow-up questions, ways that we can help you succeed and make money trading, succeed in your trading career. Please let us know. Please provide us with your feedback on how we can improve to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So we hope you all like this content. Please let us know. Provide us with your feedback, your recommendations for improvement. We hope you'll smash the like button, help us get the YouTube algorithm to share our content with more of your fellow BeachBum traders around the world. Please directly share our content with your friends and fellow traders. Let's continue to build and improve our BeachBum trading community for the mutual benefit of all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So thank you again for watching, for everyone that participated in the chat, and good luck and have a great trading week.